Hi, and welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoyed today's topic. Most of us have heard of minimalists, but what really is minimalism? Well, it's a lifestyle that has gained a lot of attention lately, but many people still don't really understand what it means. So in this video, I will explain what minimalism is and isn't. Let us explore how it can bring freedom and joy to your life, and whether or not it's right for you. So let's get started. So, what is minimalism? At its core, minimalism is a way of living with less stuff, but it's much more than that. It's a philosophy that can help you focus on what really matters to you. It's not a trend or just a fad. It's a way of thinking that can change your relationship with your possessions and your life as a whole. Now that we know what minimalism is, let's talk about what it isn't. Minimalism isn't about being cheap or depriving yourself of all the things that make life enjoyable. It's not about living in a small, sparsely furnished apartment. And it's definitely not about wearing the same shirt every day. In fact, minimalism isn't even about stuff at all. It's about your relationship with stuff. Let's take a step back and look at the history of minimalism. The term minimalism was first used in the 1960s to describe a new style of art that stripped away all extraneous detail and focused on the essential elements. This philosophy carried over into other aspects of life, and today, minimalism is a way of living that emphasizes simplicity, intentionality, and freedom. Minimalists believe that by getting rid of all the stuff that we don't need, we can free up our time, our energy, and our minds to focus on what really matters. This doesn't mean that minimalists have no possessions or that they live like monks. It means that they have carefully considered each item they own and decided what is worth keeping. Everything has a purpose and brings value to their lives in some way. So, who is a minimalist? A minimalist is someone who has chosen to live a simpler, more intentional life by getting rid of all the stuff that doesn't really matter to them. They don't let their possessions own them, and they have the freedom to do whatever they want with their time and their money. Minimalists are often entrepreneurs, creatives, or anyone who wants to live a life that's true to their values. They are not afraid to break the mold and do things differently. What does a minimalist do? Well, a minimalist does a lot of things, but here are a few of their habits and behaviors. They declutter their living space regularly by getting rid of anything they don't need or use anymore. They shop with intention, considering whether or not an item will add value to their life before they buy it. They have a wardrobe with only a few items that they love and wear often. They avoid impulse purchases and focus on experiences rather than material possessions. They automate their finances so they can save and invest for the future without even thinking about it. They prioritize quality over quantity and take care of their belongings, so they last a lifetime. They donate or sell anything they no longer need instead of just throwing it away. They live within their means and don't feel the need to keep up with the Joneses. They make time for the things that are important to them, whether it's family, friends, hobbies, or self-care. They say no to most things and only commit to what they truly want to do. They are always learning and growing and trying to become better versions of themselves. Now let's take a closer look at some of these behaviors and why they are important. Decluttering is a big part of minimalism. By getting rid of the stuff that we don't need, we can free up our space, both physically and mentally. When we are surrounded by clutter, it can be hard to focus and it can make us feel stressed and overwhelmed. But when we have a clean, organized space, we can think more clearly and we feel more at peace. Another important part of minimalism is shopping with intention. Before we buy something, we should ask ourselves if we really need it, and if it will add value to our lives. This can help us avoid impulse purchases and focus on buying things that we will actually use and love. Instead of buying new stuff all the time, we can find joy in the things we already have and appreciate them more. We can also consider borrowing or renting things that we only need occasionally, like a ladder or a snowblower. Minimalists prioritize experiences over material possessions. We can create memories that will last a lifetime by traveling, trying new restaurants, or taking classes. These experiences can make us happier and more fulfilled than any material object ever could. Of course, it's important to be mindful of our spending and not go into debt to fund our experiences. But when we do spend money on experiences, we should get a lot of value from them. Next, let's talk about automation. We can make sure we are saving and investing for the future by automating our finances, by setting up automatic transfers from our checking accounts to our savings or investment accounts. We can take the emotion out of saving and make sure that we are putting money aside regularly. We can also use technology to track our spending and make sure we are staying on track financially. This doesn't mean that we never look at our finances. It just means that we don't have to spend a lot of time and effort managing them every month. We can use that time to focus on other areas of our lives. Minimalists also prioritize quality over quantity. Instead of buying a lot of cheap, low-quality items, we can buy a few high-quality items that will last us a lifetime. This not only saves us money in the long run, but it also reduces waste and our environmental impact. We should also take care of our belongings so they last as long as possible. This doesn't mean that we never replace things, but it does mean that we fix things when they break and we don't throw things away just because they are worn out. We can also learn how to repair items ourselves, instead of always calling a professional. And finally, let's talk about saying no. We can't do everything, and we shouldn't try to. It's okay to turn down invitations and requests so we can focus on what's important to us. When we say yes to everything, we are spreading ourselves too thin, and we're not able to give 100% to anything. We have to learn how to politely decline requests and set boundaries so we can protect our time and our energy. This is especially important for people who are naturally people pleasers or who feel guilty saying no. But it's also important for people who just have too much going on and need to focus on what's most important. So, why you should consider adopting a minimalist mindset and what's in it for you. First, minimalism can bring freedom. By getting rid of all the stuff that weighs us down, we can feel lighter and freer. This includes getting rid of material possessions, but also commitments, obligations, and even negative thoughts. When we are not tied down by all the stuff in our lives, we can pursue our dreams and live the life that we want. Minimalism can lead to more joy. When we focus on the things that really matter to us, we can experience more joy and happiness. This doesn't mean that we never indulge in the things that we enjoy, but it does mean that we make a conscious choice to focus on the things that bring us the most happiness. We can also find joy in the simple things in life, like a walk in the park or a good book. Minimalism can lead to increased productivity. When we're not distracted by all the stuff in our lives, we can focus on our goals and achieve more. This doesn't mean that we have to live like a monk and deny ourselves all pleasures, but it does mean that we have to be intentional about the things we commit to. We can also use tools and techniques to help us stay productive. But is minimalism right for you? Well, there's only one way to find out. Try it out and see how you feel. You might be surprised at how much you enjoy the freedom, the joy, and the productivity that minimalism can bring. Of course, it's not for everyone. Some people thrive in a more traditional lifestyle. But if you're curious, give it a try. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. In conclusion, minimalism is a lifestyle that has gained a lot of attention lately. It's a philosophy that can help you focus on what really matters to you by getting rid of all the stuff that does not. Whether you are an entrepreneur, a creative, or just someone looking to simplify their life, minimalism might be worth exploring. So, what are you waiting for? Start decluttering your life today and see how much freedom, joy, and productivity it can bring you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and come back soon.